Hey everyone, this is Alease Michelle, your online marketing and branding coach, and welcome to today's podcast. Guys, before I get into today's topic, guess what? I think I finally came up with a name for the podcast. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing that probably next week and getting your input on the graphic that I am actually going to use for the podcast. So stay tuned. I've got a name for it. But today we're going to have a continuation of the power of branding. And so today I'm going to share with you the 5 types of content your brand should be creating right now. So 5 types of content your brand should be creating right now. Now, these are some good ones. Of course, there are going to be some repeats that I've already talked about before. But you know what? It's always good to repeat some things because some people might have missed it, right? So I'm going to be sharing those things with you throughout the today's podcast. And so before we get into the content, the goody good, I need for you guys to go ahead and share this audio and share this podcast with your family and friends. I really appreciate that. You guys know Sharon is Karen. I always love that. I know I tickle myself, right? All right. So let me get started. I've already done all my sharing that I need to share myself. So let's get right into the content. No need to hold you up. So let's get into it. The 5 types of content your brand should be creating right now. So let's start with number one. Number one, you should be creating eye-catching photos. All right. 93% of people say that images are the number one deciding factor when it comes to buying products. Y'all hear that, right? People like to see images. They like to see what they're going to get. Even if it's a digital product, you want to get mock-ups of the digital product so people can imagine what they are going to get. Although it's downloadable, okay, you still want to create mock-ups. So creating photos of the products that they're going to get, behind the scenes photos of what you're doing, products in action. Like if you got a product, one of the things I've been seeing lately, see, I'm jumping around because I get so excited about this. One of the things that I've been seeing is people actually showing screenshots of inside of their book or inside of their workbook so people can see what the pages are. Now, you don't have to show all the pages, but they get a sense of what the page looks like. It's almost like going to the bookstore and you just don't pick up a book off the shelf. You go through it, right? You look at the pages a little bit, you might read a little stuff, and then you decide to buy the book. Well, you definitely want to create images like that people can actually sense and feel without actually having the product in hand. And creating eye-catching photos are essential. Also, part of the eye-catching photos, you also want to show the face of the brand. I know a lot of us like to hide behind the brand and say, I don't want people to know who it is, blah, blah, blah. You have some reason for that, and some of those reasons are crazy, okay? They really are. People want to know who they're buying from. So show a face, have a face behind the brand is super important too. So good eye-catching photos, all right? So that's number 1. Number 2, you want to be creating inspiring quote graphics, okay, or quote cards of their cards. So you want to have these quote, and y'all see these quote cards everywhere. Well, you can create these with your own branding on them. Like you have your own logo, or you can have your a link to your website on the bottom. You guys have seen that because a lot of you are sharing content like this. I do that, right? I see a great quote. I'm like, oh, I love this. And I go ahead and share it. I don't recreate it. I share somebody else's quote, which has their branded information 9 times out of 10 on the bottom of it. But you can also create these inspiring quote cards with your own saying and in your own color schemes. Now, in the couple of audios before, I think maybe we're in day 4 right now. So day 2, I talked about your style guide, right? And creating a style guide and how important this is. And this is where it's really important when you want to create a quote graphic or quote card that reflects your brand. You also want to use quotes that reflect your brand. There's a lot of those girl boss quotes out there, and I love them, but a lot of them have cuss words in them, and that's not part of my brand. So if you're going to share stuff like that, be really aware if this fits with your brand, because it can be very confusing to your clients and customers. Okay. So, inspiring quote cards are very shareable. They're easy to hit and share, and that's a great way to get your brand to be spread among other people that you might not have reached. Okay. And they're very easy and fast to create. At the beginning, I created all of my quote graphics, and that's, some of you be like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and some of that's because I'm a graphic designer. Several years I went to school for graphic design, so I like sitting down creating graphics, and I know everyone cannot do that. So there are a lot of apps out there for your phone to create really, really nice quote graphics out there. And so I mentioned a couple in one of my videos. My favorite one is called the Studio app. I know there's other ones out there called you can use Canva is another one. That's both. You can use it on your phone and on your laptop. For those of you who have iPhones, you can use it on your iPhone. They have not downloaded for the Android users. Shame on them. But or you can outsource it. I started to outsource my quote graphics and allow someone else to do them, because they could do them a lot faster than me, and they wouldn't be so nitpicky. I was trying to make them absolutely perfect, and which was holding me up from creating these inspiring quote cards. So I outsourced them. So you can outsource them too, because they are very easy and fast to create. So that's number 2. Number 1 was have eye-catching photos. Number 2 is inspiring quote cards. Number three, I have said this probably on every power branding podcast that I talked about, and that is engaging videos. Okay. Less than 9% of the U.S. small business owners actually and actively create videos. 9%, guys. That is a very small number of small business owners who are creating videos. Why? I don't know. I do know. A lot of us are scared. We don't know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Well, that's where you get help from. And that's why you start to, look at what other people are saying. And some of that is just jumping out there and trying them. Okay. Don't let videos scare you. All right, step outside your comfort zone and start doing videos, engaging videos. Right now, this live podcast that I'm doing with you is in a video form. You don't see me, right? But you see the waves, the sound waves, right? And Facebook is creating a video from this. So you can start off this way. Allow us to hear your voice at least. Also, 64% of consumers are more inclined to buy products online after watching a video. Okay. So once they get to hear you and see you, and it has this, reality feel to it, then people are like, oh, okay, I want to buy that. Oh, I really like that. That's why infomercials are so powerful, guys. They have testimonies, they have videos, they have product demos, they have all of those. And guess what? They sell out. So when you see that countdown, like, oh, we've sold this amount, guys, that's real numbers that are happening. So don't sleep on videos, right? So that's number 3. Number 4 is I cannot talk today. Tips, tricks, and how-tos. Okay. That is another thing that you want to start to create that will reflect your brand really, really well. And that is, you can share recipes, you can share tutorials, you can share life hacks, which I hate that word hacks, but life shortcuts, things that you've learned another way to do, and it's faster and easier to do. You can show interesting ways on how to use your product. Okay. You can do product reviews. Oh my gosh, product reviews are super, super powerful. There are a lot of products that I use right now that I can do product reviews off of, right? I basically do product reviews on the apps that I use to create my quote cards. That is a form of tip It's a form of a trick, and it's a form of a how-to. So the more that you can incorporate tips, tricks, and how-tos into your brand, then you're going to reach an audience who wants to do business with you. All right. So if you guys have not heard enough of me talking about branding, if you can honestly say and hear from me that content marketing is essential to your brand. No longer can you just place an ad in a newspaper or on the radio and expect people to just come running after you. You'll get some traffic, and I'm not going to lie, you will. You'll get some traffic, but you're not going to get what we call a lone customer, a customer who will continue to come to you over and over again. And the reason why is because you're not putting stuff in front of them more often. So incorporate this as much as you can. So number five is a real easy one that I have incorporated and that I am going to add a couple of these into the branding and business toolkit, but we'll talk about that in a second. But number 5 is thought-provoking questions. Ask questions that spark conversation and engagement. And you want to keep the questions really simple. Like, what motivates you? What is the thing, your favorite breakfast food to eat? Things like that. You are going to get super duper a lot of engagement. Today I posted, let me go to the page real quick. I posted a graphic that says, your rap name is the last thing you ate with little in front of it. What's your rap name? Guys, I posted it about 8 hours ago, and I have over 30 comments already. Now, let's talk about engagement. Although that question has nothing to do with my brand, it creates engagement and excitement on my page, which also conveys that I'm a fun person, that I like to talk about fun things. I like to share fun and funny things. And some of these names are hilarious, okay? But that's fine. That's part of my brand. So sharing thought-provoking questions. Now, that's not really provoking question or really thoughtful, but it's a really fun question. There are some other ones like what inspired you? What got you to start your business? What is the name of your business? Those type of things will really get questions started. So one of the new tools that I am going to add to the toolkit is a list of, I think I have I might have more than that, about 50 thought-provoking questions that you can ask your target audience. Fun questions. I'm going to upload that today to the toolkit. So if you guys want to grab that, go to aleasemichelle.com/toolkit so you can grab the thought-provoking questions. And I'm thinking it's probably a little bit more over 100. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's more than 50. So I'm going to upload that to the toolkit today. So if you want it, go to aleasemichelle.com/toolkit. Okay. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Christy. All right, guys. So that's today's topic. I hope you got something out of it. Out of the 5 types of content your brand should be creating right now, choose one of those content ideas and implement them today. I think the inspiring quote cards are going to be the easiest thing that you can put together. Now, you might be like, I don't know about that, but definitely incorporate photos. Those are very easy to do. But inspiring quote cards, you can definitely do. If you have to go and outsource it somewhere, I recommend going to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, to get someone else to create your quote graphics for you. They don't charge. You can probably get about 50 for $25. Okay, that is super cheap. So check out somebody in Fiverr. If you are interested in knowing who my person is that I use, just shoot me an email or a Facebook message, and I send you the guy that I use on Fiverr to create my graphics. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Have a great day.